welcome back to the channel. Today I want to change the fork oil, and I might change the fork seals, but I might not, because they don't leak. I have got fork seals, but I'm a little bit under the policy of, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'll see what sort of state they're in. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today. We're changing out the fork oil. It's probably best to do on a second-hand bike, especially a bike that's got quite a bit of, you know, like, not so much mileage on it, but a bit of age on it, because the oil, it actually starts to deteriorate. You know, moisture starts getting into it. It just breaks down and stops being as efficient as what it should be. So let's go down to the bike. I'll show you the first things that you should be doing. Right then, let's get on with it. Right, I'm not going to actually run through this part. I'm not going to actually do it, because if you can't do this part, you shouldn't be really doing your forks. But what you need to do, you need to take the 2 bolts out your caliper, take the bolts out your mud guard. Because the first thing you want to be doing is getting the front wheel off. Well, let's rewind actually a bit more. First thing you want to be doing is getting your front end off the floor. So you need one of these headstock stands. I mean, you can support it with straps and that, but I wouldn't do that. Just invest in a decent, they're not very expensive. Get yourself a headstock stand. I mean, I've got the headstock stand and the ABBA on mine at the moment, just to make it nice and secure. So once you've undone the bolts on this, took your calipers off, what do you want to be doing? First, you just want to undo these 2 bolts here, so that you can undo your spindle. So you undo those 2, leave these 2 tight. So if you undo them 2, that will just spin round in there. So you want to keep them tight so it holds that tight, and then undo your bolt here. So I'm not going to run through the whole schedule of getting the front wheel out, but that's what you need to do. You need to get your front wheel out, so it's just the 2 forks in the you know, in the what are they called, triple clamp in your yokes. Right, let's do that and I'll come back. Right, once you've got the front wheel off, start getting the actual forks out now. A little tip, what you want to do before you actually take the forks out is just crack open this nut on the top, your cap. Not fully open it, just crack it so that, like, once you've got the forks out, it's not so hard to hold on to and then undo. So I'll just get a socket on there and just crack them open. I might as well say it in this part. And then the next thing you want to do is just undo the 4 Allen bolts. There's one here, and then 2 down there. And like I say, it's pretty straightforward getting your forks out. Getting the forks out isn't really the part that, if you're stuck, you're going to be wanting to see. It's actually changing the actual oil or the seals. So I'm going to rush through this part, just getting the forks out. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to crack that open. That's one of the tips, is make sure you crack that before you take your forks out, because you'll have to put them back in again, or you'll have to get some clamps to hold on to them. So crack that, get your forks out, and then we'll get them over to the table. Start actually changing the oil. I'm intrigued to see how much oil actually in here as well, because they feel really soft. And I say, because I didn't service them last time, not 100% sure whether they put the right amount in. Anyway, so let's get to the stage where they're on the table. Right, back in a minute. Right, so I might as well only do one of the forks, because they're both exactly the same. I think on this video, because my fork seals are actually, I mean, how good they are. I did change the dust seals, and the fork seals are sound, they don't leak. So this video is going to be a lot more straightforward than I thought. So once you've got your forks out, all you need to do is just crack this top nut and take it off. But just be careful, because there's a spring in here, it's spring loaded. So I don't know, put a rag over the top and then just try and keep it away from your face, just in case it's You don't know what people have done in the past. They might have put like longer springs in. It could be like higher, you know, preload on them. So we'll soon see. I'll undo that and I'll try and catch how much pressure it was under. Well, that's what it will look like once you've cracked the top off. I couldn't catch it on the video, but it was hardly under any pressure at all. As soon as you get to the bottom of the threads, it just popped off nice and easy. And I'm going to pour it into this container now with the old oil, just to see how much is in there. And give me a, there should be 513 mil, but I'm going to quickly pour it in and then get a gauge. This bit here looks like it's gone a bit like rusty, so I might have to get a bit of Scotch-Brite on that and clean it up. But I'll see. Let's tip this all out and see how much is in there, and actually see the state of it. It doesn't actually look that bad at the moment. Right, I've just drained most of the oil out, and pretty much all of it. And this is well under, if that focuses in. This is reading about, what? It's reading about 420, when it should actually have 520 in. So it was nearly 100 mils short. And that's how it felt when I was riding it. It felt like very squashy and very, it didn't feel bad, like really bad, but I could just tell that it felt a bit too, you know, under the preload. I mean, the preload's a spring, but like, it seemed like the compression and the rebound wasn't doing much. So anyway, I'm gonna get some of the fresh oil now. Just another quick thing, especially on these forks. If you look at the top, it's got the washer and the sleeve and everything. Oh God, it's really hard to do these videos with one hand. But you've got this part here, which goes in like here. So if you sort of preload it, pull the rod up like that, push that down like that, and it will slide in underneath here. That's what holds all this down like that. So then you can pull this up, and then it helps to pour the oil in and out. So I'm going to leave this drain. I want to leave it upside down and drain for about half an hour, and then come back to it. And I'm not going to bother changing the seals on this video, because as I say, there's nothing wrong with them, so there's no point going through the whole hassle of changing them. But it's quite easy on these right way round at forks, because like you can just slide them straight off the top. So it's not that hard at all. I'm not 100% sure whether I need to carry on with this video, because all you do is look in your handbook, tells you how much to put in. Mine's 513, measure out 500. Say you can't get every single bit of oil out of the fork, so if you just say, oh, you've got about 20 mil in there, so what I'll do, I'll just put 500 back in. I mean, I like my suspension on the stiffer side anyway, so if it's got 10-20 mil more in than what it should, it'll be fine. It'll just make the ride a little bit firmer. But to say, on a sports bike, that's pretty much what you want, really. So yeah, I'm going to call it an end on this video now. All you do is just, like you say, put your oil back in there. Make sure you put that clip back in. Tighten this down. Look in your handbook what the torque setting is, and then just put it all back together. And then what I'll do for your first ride, you just set all the settings to whatever the book says, you know, like your compression and rebound, and I mean your preload, you set that up to your weight. But these, I mean, a rule of thumb, I usually turn this one out 1, turn this one out 2. That gives you like a little mid-range sort of like base, and then when you ride it, you can feel whether it needs to be stiffened or loosened. I carried on with the video a little bit because I just wanted to show this bit. There was a little bit of like pitting on here and a bit of rust, so I got the green Scotch Brite. Just get it a rub over to bring it up nice and smooth. So I might as well show you measuring out the oil, putting it in while I'm still here. So yeah, in the book it says 513, so I want to stick in 500. So I'll just measure that out. I'm using 10 weight as well. I've used this in the past and it seems to work quite well. So measure it out, pour it in. I'll show you what to do. Not sure if it's picking this up in the video. So what we're going to do is pull this up, pull the sleeve up, and then you've got the gap to the gap here. And if you get your oil, you pour it into that gap there. Once you poured all your 500 ml in, you need to pump it out. So I'll do that, put the rest of it in, and then show you what to do. Okay, so once you put all your fluid in, put the cap back on the top, tighten it down, tighten it right down so it's like hand tight right to the bottom. Then all you want to do is just bounce up and just, you know, just push up and down on it. Oh, I can feel that's a lot better now. It's a lot stiffer. And that's it. Wall them off. Might as well just give them a bit of a clean. Put them back on. That's it. Job's a good one. So yeah, there we go. So I know it's not very comprehensive. It's kind of just showing how easy it is to do. It's not nothing complicated, and it's something you should be doing. I mean, like fork oil, it does go off. If your forks start feeling a bit spongy and the handling goes a bit strange, you know, why go and pay a garage like £150 when you can just do it yourself for the sake of a bottle of that? I don't know how much that is, about 15 quid. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time.